Detroit Lions, we are so fucking back, baby. And I missed you so much. Detroit Lions, again, anybody who's ever listened to me talk on platforms like this or other platforms, you know how much I love the Detroit Lions. They were my Super Bowl team each of the last 2 years. Going into this season, I wasn't going to pick them to go to the Super Bowl. However, these two gentlemen beside me picked the same team that I was going to pick. So I went, I'm going back to my roots. I'm going back to the Detroit Lions. Detroit Lions are going to the Super Bowl, my official prediction. But again, I was nervous about them a little bit preseason. I was nervous about losing the coordinators. I was nervous about the offensive line. And I just got to say, Dan Campbell is a top 5 head coach in the NFL. This man can coach his absolute ass off. John Morton, let me just say, I was not familiar with your game, bro. I was wrong. John Morton, my man. We saw the creativity pulled out against the Baltimore Ravens last night. Unbelievable. And again, even after a rough week 1 offensively, PFF has this Detroit Lions offense graded as the #1 offense in the NFL, even after a terrible week 1 performance. I was worried about the offensive line. PFF has them graded 3rd in run block and 3rd in pass block. Once again, a top 5 offensive line. Tate Ratledge, the young guard out of Georgia, has performed very, very well for them. He's been awesome. He's been a big step up for that offensive line. And this defense as well. This defense has showed up. Run defense is still outstanding. Forced the best run offense in football in the Baltimore Ravens and held them to just 85 yards rushing. Big stops when they needed it. Obviously stripped fumble on Derrick Henry. Big time plays from the defense. And let me just say, as far as these Baltimore Ravens go, listen, we got to put respect on Lamar Jackson as a passer, and he's obviously developed it throughout the years, but I still don't think he gets the respect that he deserves as a passer. They talked about it a lot. Best passer rating in NFL history before the game, and it went up after the game. 148.1 passer rating in this game from Lamar Jackson, 288, 3 touchdowns. His evolution as a passer is remarkable. He should be incredibly proud with how he throws the football right now. He can throw the football from arm angles. He's got some of the most underrated arm talent in the NFL as well from Lamar Jackson. But Derrick Henry, listen, bro, damn Derrick Henry. I have arguments in the gym with my boss all the time about Derrick Henry. I'm the pro Derrick Henry guy. He's a little bit less high on Derrick Henry, and I'm always sticking up for Derrick Henry. And you fumbled away 2 games to start off this year. You're not making me look good, Derrick Henry. I'm losing these arguments with my boss in the gym right now because of you. So you got to hold on to the football. But again, part of the reason why I'm not high on the Ravens this year is because they tend to lose their identity. And again, we've talked about this stat in previous years. The Ravens with Derrick Henry, when Derrick Henry's been there, they're still 8-0 when Derrick Henry gets 20 plus carries a game. You know how many times this season Derrick Henry has gotten 20 plus carries? 0. He still has yet to get 20 plus carries in a game this season. So even though he's fumbling away some of these games, you still got to give him the rock more, because that's where Derrick Henry is his most effective. 39-8 when he gets 20 plus carries. So again, you give Derrick Henry the ball 20 plus times in his career in a 45 game sample. Again, you're winning the game at almost an 80% clip. So again, I don't trust the Ravens that much still. Again, this is why I wasn't super high on them preseason. This is why I had other teams making the Super Bowl above them. And the Detroit Lions, man, we are so back. Detroit, we're back, baby. Let's go. And I couldn't be more excited to be back in Detroit. But I'm kicking it to these guys. Big time Monday Night Football game. Obviously, high scoring game like we all saw it going. But what are your guys' main takeaways from this Detroit and Ravens Monday Night Football?
I'm glad that I apologized last week. Because it would have really sucked to try to apologize right now.
I don't even care.
I wouldn't even been able to. Like, they would have been crucified. But you know what good teams do? They close out games. Mm-hmm. Good teams close out games, and they close out games against tough competition. They find ways to win. I'm not saying the Ravens are a bad team, but when they face good teams, they're not the best team. This was a tight game all the way, and then they got outscored 17-9 in the 4th quarter. Lamar Jackson had a great game throwing the football, but Derrick Henry fumbled the football. And you're saying like, oh, the Lions had a really good running defense. They averaged the Ravens still averaged 4.5 yards a carry. That is still above league average. And to be fair, the Ravens defense, outside of handling David Montgomery, 151 yards on 12 carries, 12.6 a clip and 2 touchdowns. Yeah, buddy, that's rough.
That's crazy.
But Jahmyr Gibbs, 22 carries, 67 yards, 3 average. The passing offense, not bad. They only gave up 202 yards and a touchdown. If you look at this defense right now, you cannot tell me that Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, and Terrell Suggs are not out there absolutely losing their mind, because this is probably the worst Ravens defense I've seen in a hot minute. 151 yards on 12 carries to a running back. What is this, fucking college? Like you said, Derrick Henry, 12 carries. I understand he's got a problem with ball security right now. He's Derrick Henry. Who gives a shit? Derrick Henry doesn't get benched. You hand him the fucking football. And you do it early, you do it often. Because you know what you do when you run the football with a guy who averages 4.2 a carry? You control the clock, you control time of possession, and you wear out defenses. Offenses don't get in rhythm. Your defense is fresh, comes out there, and they are teeing off on people. That's how you win games. I understand Lamar Jackson can throw the football. And in situations where he has to get in a shootout, I trust Lamar Jackson to throw the football. I would rather have to rely on Derrick Henry running the ball 20 times than banking on Lamar Jackson throwing for 400 yards and 5 touchdowns.
No doubt.
And you have a really good mobile quarterback. So we go back to this every single time we talk about the Baltimore Ravens, and I'm going to go back to it now. Something has to change. And it's coming to a head. They are the best team in this division. They're going to win this division. They're probably going to be the 2 seed. It doesn't matter. If this is the team that plays this way, they're probably seeing a first round. This is a wild card exit team.
Yeah.
Right. At worst, at best, they're out in the divisional round because I don't think they're beating anybody. And that says something for me from the perspective of how I've been talking about the Kansas City Chiefs recently, because obviously I'm out on them and they still don't impress me even after they dismantled the Giants. Like, I get it, but it's the Giants. Lamar,
is it
Russell
Bills
Wilson was selling
to lose
that
now? Is it the Bills to lose, Joe?
It's the Bills to lose, 100%. The AFC is the Bills to lose, but let's talk about the Detroit Lions real quick. Matt, you're 100% right. Back on the bus.
We're back.
We're so back, baby.
Yeah, let's go.
Painful.
I'm sorry. Even grabbed my bags and got off. I'm back on the bus.
Unbelievable.
We talking about me? I picked them to go to the Super Bowl. You're talking about me? Unbelievable. I picked them to go to the Super Bowl for the 3rd straight year.
After 1 week, you guys were hopping off the train.
I wasn't hopping off. I wasn't hopping off. I said I was concerned.
Panicking.
I was panicking for sure. No doubt. Yeah.
Concern after 1 week against the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah.
Against the best defense in the NFL, man.
And you still can be concerned about that. You're going to have to play them again. You're going to have to play them in the playoffs. How could you not be concerned about that?
I wasn't concerned.
How could you not be concerned about that? How could you not be concerned about losing to a divisional team that in your division that you have a horrible offensive performance in week 1? I don't understand how you could not be concerned about that.
I'll tell you why. Because this Lions team, it was way too talented to be like the sum of what happened in 1 week. They were facing a really, really good defense in Micah Parsons led defense. And look, offensively, it's a new offensive coordinator. They needed a bit to adjust, and obviously now they have it down packed. Look, I'm going to go ahead and say I think the Lions are going to be the class of the NFC at the very top with the Rams and the Eagles. I think they're going to be right there with them. And look, man, it's going to be tough in a division where the Packers are in there, but we see the concerns with the Packers. Now, I'm not going to just completely jump off that ship either. I still firmly believe that this team is that Packers team is still the best team in the league. I think the game against the Browns is a wash. I don't think it's who they are, and they better get it together because right now I'm not going to wipe away what I saw the first 2 weeks just because of 1 week against a bad team. I'm not going to do that. However, when you look at a performance like Monday night, how could you deny the Lions right now? They dominated the line of scrimmage on both ends of the ball. We're talking about 7 sacks on Lamar Jackson. Guys, Lamar Jackson is almost unsackable. And then you talk about the offensive line. This is 224 rushing yards. Okay, the Ravens aren't usually giving up a crap ton of rushing yards like that. They did against the Lions. Now, granted, the Lions had probably the best running back duo in the entire league. It was mostly David Montgomery doing the damage, though. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs was doing damage too, but David Montgomery, salute to you, sir, because Sonic and Knuckles living up to the name. I think Kelvin Shepard now has the tools to build a great defense again. I think the fact that you got 7 sacks, I know the offensive line for Baltimore isn't too impressive. It's very difficult to sack Lamar Jackson. I cannot stress that enough. And then limiting Derrick Henry. I mean, that's impressive in and of itself as well. I don't know what to say anymore about Baltimore. I mean, every single time they should win this game. It's hard to just put it on John Harbaugh because these are mistakes that are happening on the field. Like Derrick Henry fumbling. That's what led to the rally on the Sunday night of week 1. This week, Monday Night Football, Derrick Henry, any chance you had to rally, gone. I think this passing game is better than last year. Lamar Jackson has improved as a passer year after year. The running game is still as good. The defense ran into a buzzsaw in Detroit, and you're going to expect to be in a shootout against Detroit. The Detroit's offense is probably the best in football, but you have to find a way to win these games because if you're going to beat the allegations come playoff time against the Bills, against even the Chiefs, despite their woes on offense, which they got that test this coming week, I'd be very, very concerned. I know you said, Joe, the Ravens are a lot to win the division. I'm not sure about that anymore. because of what happened concerning. Look, they could start off 1-3. They could very realistically start off 1-3, and these divisional games, sorry, they could slip up. If they slip up once against the Steelers, which is not out of the realm of possibility, by the way, they slip up, all of a sudden, the Steelers, that could be their division. And now I know it's very unrealistic, but this is what's happened in these couple of weeks right now. This is what's happening right now. They slipped up against the Bills. They slipped up against the Lions. And now if they slip up against the Chiefs, you're looking at a 1-3 start. And then the Steelers, I'm not sure who they play this week. If they win that game this week, we're looking at 3-1 for the Steelers and 1-3 for the Ravens. And anything can happen from there. So,
I mean,
I'm
look at their
concerned for the
schedule,
Ravens, guys.
man. There's like maybe 3 games that I'm concerned about them losing. The rest of the time, it's the Dolphins, the Browns, the Jets, the Bengals, the Steelers, the Bengals, the Patriots, the Packers, the Steelers. Like, they're not losing this division.
Yeah,
I admire your possibility, but they can start 1-3, which I don't think happens. I don't think the Chiefs offense can handle or put up the points that are required to beat this team, right? Because you're required to beat the Ravens right now to put up 38 points, and that's just not what the Chiefs can do right now. But I see your point.
Yeah, I'm more so on Joe's side, where I don't see the Ravens losing this division either. I mean, I believe even if they started 1-3, I just don't believe in any other team in that division. The Bengals, even though I'm, Jake Browning had a horrible performance, but I guess I'm a Jake Browning guy. But I still don't believe in them. Very weird flex. I still don't believe in them wholeheartedly. Definitely do not believe in the Steelers. Obviously, don't believe in the Browns. So I think even if they have a 1-3 start, they could win this division with a 10-7 or an 11-6 or something like that, because the rest of these teams, I think they're just going to find ways to lose games. But to your point kind of about John Harbaugh, again, it's kind of hard to blame him as far as like the on-field woes go. But again, we've only seen this guy win when the culture was arguably the strongest in the league, when it was Terrell Suggs, when it was Ray Lewis, when it was Ed Reed, just Haloti Ngata, just all high character, high leadership type guys. And now we see different guys come in, and not saying that they're not high character or high leadership. It's just a completely different group, and John Harbaugh hasn't been able to manage it very well. And again, we see this team consistently in big games, and consistently when they get ahead, they falter. Big concerns for Baltimore and as far as their Super Bowl hopes go, because again, both of these teams this year, it's Super Bowl or bust for Baltimore and for Detroit. Like, these teams need to win Super Bowls this year, because these rosters are going to start getting turned over, and we're going to start seeing changes for them if they don't win the Super Bowl. So again, Lions look really good, Ravens look really bad. We'll see if that continues going forward.
This has been Between the Uprights. Football is life. The rest is just details.